Hey, Ramaya. Good to see you. Tom's here. Amy's here. Chris. Who else is hanging out today? I know I saw some more people. Where'd you guys all go? Don's here. Jerniel. Nick. How you been doing, Nick? Good to see you here. Darius. There's Mark and Thatch.
What's up?
Hey, guys. All right. We're excited to get to spend some time with all of you guys today. As always, this is your opportunity to bring your burning questions and deepen your understanding and sort of take that deeper dive into how to really get this stuff moving and applied and working for you in your business and in your life. So we're very excited to continue that conversation with you today. This is the first week of August. So we'll be diving in a little bit today for sort of our theme for the month. We do have both our 5X members and our Jumpstart members on the call today. So we're expecting there'll be a hearty group of people here. Talking through some strategies and some tactics, and then of course be making notes of your questions. We'll be taking questions at the end, post them in the chat, and then we'll dive into that when we get there. Anything you want to pop in with that before we get started? Are you eating cherries?
It's football season for Stephanie, guys. She said she's ready.
I am ready. I usually enjoy my fantasy football draft, but this year I'm really psyched about it. I'm gonna actually put some effort into it. Usually I just go with instinct.
Well, as we are getting set up, you guys, I want to first acknowledge all you guys who jumped in yesterday on the post that we posted about the house the house. So a lot of you guys. Bravo.
Yes,
right?
Great work, man.
Great work for a lot of you guys, right? I like to manifest buying property always at the 70% rule. You gotta know that. And so a lot of you guys did the 70% rule correct. A lot of you guys put 500,000. I wasn't sure where you got that number from. You know what I mean? And so forth. But 395 is the 70% rule. That's the number. And I made the man an offer yesterday for 400,000, and I'm just waiting for him to respond to me, see what he says. So, but bravo for all you guys that got the answer correct. Some of you guys who didn't get the answer correct, let us know, because I actually asked some of you guys, how did you come up with 500 grand? And I didn't see the response yet. So, but bravo.
That was great. That was fun seeing so many good responses. Sal went for a little extra credit. He's calculating some different stuff in his cost, but it was cool seeing where people are good, where people are bad, and then the opportunities to improve from that. It should be pretty clear to you guys what that is. So that was awesome. Dimitri, my man, I see you on the green screen. I love seeing that pop up. I just found your card the other day, and I was like, oh, that's where I know him from when we first met in person. We were talking about Facebook ads. So I might be reaching out to you about that. But it's good to see you again, man. I appreciate being on the calls. So you guys throw in the comments. Let us know if you guys been having any good seller conversations, any exciting stuff happening this week, any progress that you're making. Throw it in, man. Let's share it with everybody who's on the call. Let's see what's happening, see where everybody's making traction. We always want to celebrate all that stuff. Then you guys may have seen, or you may not have understood, like we understood from Stephanie's post about coaching. We've got some guys that are helping us focus on community growth, community engagement, delivering more value to you guys. We're really excited about that. We've met with them for 10, 12 hours the last couple of weeks. You're going to start seeing some changes to how the group pages look, adding some unit sections to make it easier for people to find resources in the free and the private groups. So keep an eye on that stuff coming out, but we got some exciting stuff we're working on for August for you guys to deliver more value and more content in the free and the paid groups for you guys. We're going to be doing some Facebook Lives and some webinars coming up. We're mapping out schedules actually later today. That's why we're all together today. We want to map that out. We're going to be talking to some great people, great resources for you guys, doing more Q&A stuff, things like that. So be looking for those things coming up. And then we want to ask you guys for a favor as well. I've seen a few times in the last week or two, especially as the community keeps growing, people jumping in with motives that aren't necessarily aligned to our community and our group, and for you guys as well. Like, our groups are not for you guys to jump in and promote, and they're not for anybody to jump in and promote. It hasn't been as bad as it was a couple years ago with those goddamn Bitcoin guys showing up everywhere. But if you're coming in the group and you're like a house cleaner or whatever it is, don't come in and start soliciting everybody for house cleaning. Don't come in and start promoting your own shit. That's not what it is. We want everybody here delivering value to the community. If you've got a service or something that you're an expert in and you can help answer questions for people or do that, definitely, that is always welcome. But just throwing links up, trying to drive business, soliciting our community is not what we do. We don't want it. So if you guys see it, tag us or let us know so we can remove the post. And if you're doing it, so far I've been giving everybody one warning, but we'll delete and block you from the group. Even if you're a coaching client, like, that's not what we're doing here. So keep an eye out, let us know, help us keep the group clean, help us keep it tight, help us keep it focused, but be engaged, protect your community, let us know when that's going on, because we don't see everything that happens. So feel free to share. It's not a case where snitches get stitches. Let's keep those bitches out of this thing and keep it clean for us.
Mark is dropping the microphone on these fools today.
So, and then again, great work on Thach's Deal or No Deal post. Great seeing you guys really absorbing the material, really getting what we're doing here, grasping an understanding of it. We love that. Keep that engagement high. That's super fun.
Let me say this before we jump into this. Okay?
Yep.
Guys and gals, if you're in this group, okay, I want you to understand, if you're ever going to keep rental property, the goal is to hit 70% of ARV to get those numbers. If you ever want to buy a rental and keep, that's the standard. All you guys should go after 70% rule. Okay, for rental, it's different if you're gonna flip it. But if you ever want to buy a rental, don't buy it already on the market. Don't buy it already done up. Buy it as a fixer-upper. If you can get it at 7%, that's the idea. So when you refinance it, you can get all your cash back out, not your equity cash, but your down payment. Okay.
That's it, man. That's such an important metric. It's great to see you guys optimizing that and having those standards. And standards are getting even more important because the last couple of years, especially in Seattle, most of the West Coast, the market has been rising so strong that, like, people have been making money despite making mistakes. And that's not the case, especially up here in Seattle. Like, last summer was a lot tougher, but this year it's flattened out. We're hoping to end the year even with where we were at the peak. I just saw the first article this morning. The summer slowdown has set in. The June numbers are trending down. Totally normal seasonal adjustment, but you want to be aware of that. You want to have standards. Don't chase deals. Don't get deal fever. That's why we talk about these standards, the 70% rule, 75% rule, and know what those are for your market. It could be a little bit different, but know what they are for your market and be disciplined. Don't get deal fever. Don't get caught short. So today we want to talk about creating and optimizing efficiency, specifically through leveraging the stuff that we're teaching and what we're talking about. We hear so often from people, we fall victim to it. Man, I don't have enough time. I'm busy. I can't figure out how to integrate this. And there's really a ton of efficiencies that you can leverage and take advantage of if you're mindful and intentional about what we're doing and how we're doing it, designed to help you accomplish all of your goals across all your business, specifically your level 1 and level 2 businesses. That's our main focus here. Your regular retail business, integrating it with making more money, working with builders and investors. So we want to talk about how to leverage to get more done, take better advantage of each situation, all designed to free up your time and increase effectiveness to focus on those key activities for you guys. So we broke it down into a couple different segments and where you can try to drive some more efficiency. And then we want to get into questions, answers, comments, conversations with you guys. Oh, one other thing I wanted to hit on, I must have forgot to put it in that bullet point. Last week, we had a little situation with somebody not being muted on the call, and we actually got a lot of feedback from people in between the calls. So we try to have the call set up so everybody who comes on is muted when they enter, but really, you guys help self-police yourselves. Be on mute when you're not talking. If you're in the office, if you're in a coffee shop, whatever, do your thing. But if you're We don't want you disrupting the call and being disrespectful of everybody else's time. So we're really going to be paying attention to that. And if you're showing up and you can't get your shit together and you can't be muted and you're going to be disrupting it for everybody else, you and I will be having a separate conversation offline about how to do this differently for you, because it's disrespectful to the whole community. People who are invested want to show up and get maximum value for this. We want to create the right environment.
Plus, if you guys are coming on these calls, it's an hour long. You got to know how much you pay. You pay very little. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's why the less someone paid, sometimes a lot of people don't take it as
the less they appreciate it.
Appreciate it, right? Mm-hmm. If we were charging $1,000 for these coaching calls, like Mike Ferris, some of these people pay attention. But the fact that you guys are on these calls, you guys should literally just close everything. You should not be doing any business. You should be staying focused right here, because one bird, you guys, all right, depending on where you live, my bird is 30% profit. So on a house that is basically $600,000, it's a $200,000 margin profit. One bird. If you can do 2 of those in a year, you guys, $400,000 in 2 transactions. You pay for what you pay on this call. If you could actually get it, understand it, and find these deals, 1 or 2 little deals a year, depending on where you live, man, you guys will kill it. Mm-hmm. But you got to be paying attention on these calls.
Yep. You got to be engaged. You got to be active. And really, the calls are only supposed to be a half hour. We just always want to deliver so much value. We end up with like a half-hour question and answer, wanting to help support you guys. But we want you guys committed. If you're not committed, you can't show up and pay attention. We're going to have a different conversation around what that looks like. So let's talk about efficiency, prospecting efficiency. You guys, with this model, there's 2 ways for you guys to get money from each contact, right? There's the regular retail listing way, and there's the off-market builder investor buy it for yourself. So you're already should be more efficient just in your regular prospecting by being prepared and being intentional about what you're doing, and now having 2 ways to take advantage of the situation. And especially if you're going off-market and targeting these properties, it should be really easy to convert what would normally be a 3% transaction to a 6% transaction. You got a seller who's willing to sell and you match them with the buyer, you should be able to get a 6% buyer fee agreement, take all of the 6% from the seller, or get more exotic and do an assignment deal. So this is a super efficient way to turn contacts into money when you're doing discipline and following the script, right? We spent a lot of time on that this week. I saw you reply to a couple comments. Just stay on the script. Just stay on the script. Even somebody on the team this week, we had an appointment with the seller in Ballard. And she's like, my God, that appointment was so easy to set. It's the first time I've ever just followed the script. And then he's like, yeah, I can do a call on Friday. Perfect. That's exactly what we want you guys doing. Another big efficiency point that people struggle with and often overlook, a lot of you guys are calling these non-owner properties, the out-of-state owners, right? We did Ben's deal, and that was an out-of-state owner list. And you're calling these guys, and you have the simultaneous concern about, man, I don't have a good buyers list. I don't have that. Well, they're investors. They can be buyers for you. If you're calling a non-owner and they're not interested in selling right now, no problem. Still take advantage of the situation. I hear, Mr. Seller, you're not buying. Ramaya, sounds like you're not buying. You really like this property. It's doing great for you. Let me ask you, are you looking for more? What's a perfect deal look like for you? If I were to find that, would you be interested in buying it? How do you buy? Do you use hard money? Do you pay cash? Do you use conventional lending? You can start building your own buyers list from contacting sellers. More efficiency for you inside of this model. Non-sellers may know somebody looking to buy or to sell or create other leads. Our guy Nate just did a video about this. He was talking to a seller, couldn't find him at the house, went and talked to the neighbor, got a lead on another property the seller he was looking for was owning, somebody else in the neighborhood. Just because they don't want to sell doesn't mean they're not an opportunity, right? Hey, I hear you're super happy in the neighborhood. You love it. Do you know anybody that's looking to move in the neighborhood? Any of your friends thinking about it? Do you know any of your neighbors who are thinking about selling? And get yourself a warm lead from that. Instead of cold calling canceleds and expireds, you can turn these into warm leads, get context, get background on them, and make your next call more efficient. And then in your prospecting, when door knocking specifically, talking to the neighbors, right? A lot of people, we have a number of conversations. Oh, door knocking's not efficient. Door knocking's not the best use of my time. Da, da, da. Like you and Lorenz are killing it on the door knocking right now. And I've been putting out some great stuff around that. But don't underestimate talking to the neighbors. You're already there. You can get a ton of great insight into the property you're interested in, other properties. They may know people who are looking to buy or sell because you're already there. Take advantage of that moment and talk to the neighbors, especially if it's an area you want to do all your business in. You really want to own it, from taking retail listings to doing off-market deals, right? Like what you guys are doing in North Beacon Hill. You'll take listings in North Beacon Hill. That's not a distraction. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of that opportunity and driving efficiency into your business that way.
I'm going to also say, guys, when you are knocking or cold calling, if you actually happen to get the tenant, if the owner is selling, a lot of times they'll sell. A lot of these tenants with the interest rate so low, a lot of these tenants and are buying. Yep. So that's another opportunity for you guys, are agent, right? You guys can be helping those renters find something, okay? But the bottom line is, guys, that if you call in a non-owner or a non-seller, if you follow the script, right, then after you get done with that, you can have another conversation with them about, are they looking to buy? Do they know someone who's buying, right? But the key, you want to follow the script so you can see they plan on selling. Once that is all done, you can change the conversation again. What do you invest in? What do you buy, right? And the last thing I want to say is, remember, I just don't door knock only. I only video. You guys saw some of my Instagram posts. I videotape myself door knocking because Loren, when he's with me, or I videotape myself when I'm cold calling. So I am always on the phone and I'm always on the door, right? And of course, if you want me to videotape, I send out postcards or I send out letters. I'm happy to do that too.
That's great content. Just look at envelopes.
Okay, but we mail out letters. We call them. We door knock them, okay? So we do all three of them. We do it in different time increments, okay? But no matter what, if I was Magna PI and I got to get a hold of these people, I'm going to do what it takes to get a hold of these people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great call out. Don't rotate the conversation. Get through the first 6 questions. Then that'll tell you where you're at, right? Oh, they're not going to sell. They're going to leave feet first. All right. Well, now I'm here. I'm in the conversation. Instead of starting a brand new conversation, let's see if I can turn this. Do they know any buyers or sellers? Do they know any of their neighbors? Are there any other shitty boarded up houses that I haven't found out about that I should be buying to clean up your neighborhood? Take advantage of those opportunities. Create leads for yourself in that situation. That's more efficient activity for you guys. Marketing and follow-up efficiency. You can, if you want, there's 2 pieces. A lot of you guys have your own marketing pieces. You got your own flyers, you got whatever it is, but you can go out. We talk a lot about, are you coming as a buyer or are you coming as an agent? Well, you can have both messages on a marketing piece. If you're going out as an agent, you can have your sales proposition for you as an agent and why they should choose you to list their house with we buy houses for cash right on the top of it, right? And let them know that you're also a buyer there. You can talk about buying the house directly or helping them list their house for top dollar. You can cross both things off with one piece if you do it intentionally, and again, be more efficient. You don't have to build dozens of campaigns and get super exotic. You can just tweak these things. Add some bullet points on who you can help into that marketing piece. You don't have to just speak to one thing. Or if it's your general listing thing, we help sellers, we help buyers, we work with investors, especially for those of you guys who are doing a lot of door hanging and designing those door hangers. You can include that in because they may not want to sell, but they may be looking for more investment properties to buy. They may like what you're doing and their sister-in-law wants to move into the neighborhood, and you let them know that. You can create efficiency through your marketing and follow-up if you're mindful and intentional about it. When you're working this space, and especially if you're finding deals and off-market stuff, and Renee, if you're on the call, I love the stuff that I've been seeing on your story around out there getting after it, door knocking, turning stuff into things. I would love to see some of that in the group to keep that energy going in the group, sharing some of that stuff. But it gives you more unique and interesting content just in your sphere. You're out going after off-market deals, but you know what all the other agents that people you know are doing? They're posting about open houses. They're posting about just listed. You're out doing the stuff that they're watching on HGTV all weekend. You're establishing a different level of expertise. They're going to want to reach out to you proactively. So just take advantage of that in the work that you're doing, like you guys are doing all the time when you're out door knocking. And it gives you better stuff to talk about. on your sphere calls. If you're really doing this, and especially if you're layering in your team, which we're going to talk about, if you're following up with people, which the amount of agents that have massive call reluctance around following up with their sphere, it's more fun stuff to talk about that's not asking them, hey, do you know anybody who's buying or selling that I can hit for 6%, right? Oh man, I'm having a great time. I'm starting to work with investors and builders. I was in this awful hoarder house the other day. You should have seen it. You're establishing a different level of expertise. You got a reason to connect with them. You're showing them different ways you can be helpful to them without asking. And if you're really like building your team and really connecting with stuff like we'll talk about, you can start referring stuff and being a different connection point and becoming a better referral partner for everybody in your sphere. Ton of efficiency to be gained in there. I know you're grabbing a bunch of paperwork. You got something you want to jump in with?
So I know a lot of people would ask me, what does my prospecting schedule look like? So for a lot of you guys that know me, I still do residential real estate, right? I list probably 4 or 5 listings a month right now, just me and my wife, Cammie, and one assistant. I don't have a big team anymore. And, you know, I have a big past customer database. So every day, as long as I connect either by text, by call, or by email to talk to 4 or 5 my what I call my past customer or my sphere, right? As long as I stay in touch with them, they get something in the mail from me every month. They get something in the email every month, and then I divide my database up and I talk to 5 or 6 people a day, and just stay in connect with them. And after I do that, you guys, so I'm always here. What you understand? I'm always actively prospecting, actively outward to find business. I'm not waiting for nobody to call me. That's the difference between me and everybody else out there. A lot of real estate agents out there, they're waiting for something to happen. So for me, I'm never waiting. I'm always generating business. So I'm calling my database and staying in touch with them, see if I can offer anything, see if they can email me anything. One of my customers just emailed me this morning, says, I'm thinking of refinancing my house. I'm thinking about this option. What should I do? So he's on my list to call today to talk to him. After I talk to my 4 or 5 people, you guys, then I have what I call my hot list. This is my hot list folder. These are people who said they're thinking about selling, right? These are all fixer-upper, right? And then what I'll do is I try to call them back depending on when I wrote down when I need to call them back. So after I go through my hot list, right, that should take me just a little bit. Then I go and basically call new leads, right? So like these are all new leads that I'm working on, right? These are all people that says I have potential. Now these people are here. I mark them and then I call them. And I try to set an appointment with them, trying to get a deal out of it. Once I do all that, you guys, all right, then I usually go out, hit the door. I usually mix it up. In the morning, I might go hit the door from 9 to 12, and I come back and I cold call these people in the second half. And then sometime what I do is I do these people in the morning until 12 o'clock, and then I come back in the second half, and then I actually call people, or I actually, we reverse the thing.
Yeah, go hit the doors,
right? Hit the door in the afternoon. So I reverse things over and over and over and over, but I'm always actively hunting for opportunity. I'm never sitting around, right? In those process, right? In those process, I'm out hunting for deal, calling database, knocking on the door. I create the video content you guys see on Instagram. So I have Loren with me everywhere I go. And then when I have a moment, I say, hey, hit the camera right now, shoot this for me real quick. And after that, we'll hit the door, and I'm hit the door. He make content. He has a little camera, and we record it. And that's how I create content as I'm doing real live work. There ain't too many teachers out there, you guys, that actually is doing the work and creating content as he's doing the work. Okay, one of these days, I'm gonna ask you guys, raffle off. You guys come out, hang out with me for a day. You gotta see if they come out and shadow me. But this is pretty much what I do. I work my past customer, and then I work new leads, and I work hot leads, and I work them over and over and over and over. And I have a goal. My goal every month is to get 5 new listings, and then buy 2 fixer-upper every single month, and then buy me a plot of land. I can build 5 or 6 townhouses once a month. That's it. That's all my system. I can do that. I make $5 million a year, and I'm good. I don't need to complicate myself. Me, my wife, and one assistant. That's all I got. That's all I want to keep it simple like that for me.
It's the efficiency, because everybody's impressed with like the amount of content that you put out, but the time, because of how you integrate it. Where can you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Where is the duplication of effort taking place? That's what we really want you guys being focused on and seeing what that is. So with the script, there's a ton of efficiency to be had in using the script and really optimizing the script. It allows you to have more efficient, faster conversations. You're not spending an hour on the phone with somebody who's never doing anything. You're getting in a matter of a couple minutes, figuring out what bucket they go in. Are they seller, non-seller? When are they thinking about selling? Is there something else I can get from them, and getting back off the phone? Because you know where you're going. You know how to drive the phone call. You can make minor tweaks to it, and it works great for buyers. How long have you been looking for the area in the area? What are you looking for now? When are you really ready to strike the purchase? Like, it gives you this great basic framework that you can alter for using for other buyers, right? It's super, people all the time, well, the guy doesn't own the house. What do I do? It's the same basic thing. How long have you owned the property instead of how long have you lived there? But you got that framework to make the conversations more effective, more constructive, and to use it in multiple situations. It lets you make better decisions about who and how to follow up with people, and to do it more consistently, right? You can set the structure, you know how to implement things. You're not thinking about, what do I need to do next? What do I need to say next? You just operate in that structure, and you do it really easily. And because you're doing the same thing all the time, you're going to get more consistent in your business. You're going to get more consistent in your conversations, and you're going to get better results. But you got to know the script. Being good with the script lets you provide better, more reliable service. Like, we bang on this script, man, but it is the key to the deal. You got to have this down. When you get consistent with the script and you use it, you're going to start to get those numbers that are more traditional. Every 50 contacts, I'm going to set one appointment, whatever that is, 20 contacts, 10, and you can start to refine in. And if you find yourself in a slump, it's a great first place to look at to get back on track. Am I really using the script? Am I following the script? Or am I starting to freestyle shit? Am I getting fancy when I'm at the door? So you're able to be more consistent and better replicate the results, because you're being proactive in your outreach and you're doing the same thing over time. You should be getting the same results.
The thing is, if I was coaching you guys on, let's call it result, and if you out there prospecting 5 days a week and you're not getting results, the only way we could troubleshoot basically what's causing you not to get a result, and we got to start with, what are you actually saying at the front door, right? And if we actually go back and see what you said, we can actually troubleshoot and go, oh, well, right there. Lorraine was with me one day, and I always tell Lorraine, on the first question, we got to ask, when are you considering maybe moving? So one day I was out door knocking, and I said to the owner, hey, my name is Thach, and I was wondering, have you had any thoughts on selling your house? And the guy said no, and he literally just shut me down, and I was stunned. I couldn't respond back, and then he slammed the door in our face, right? And the friend said, hey, bro, why didn't you ask when versus what? And I tell you, that one word can make a big difference on someone shutting you down quick and you can't respond because you set it up. You basically set the volleyball so they can slam it right and spike it in your face. The key word is when. I'm telling you, when you say when, you can have a conversation. When you said, have you thought about selling, you literally set yourself with a spike in the face. So the other thing I want to say also about this script stuff, when you're out prospecting, you guys, the mindset to have is you're looking for opportunities. Opportunity to either A, something you're going to buy for yourself. Opportunity where if you don't buy yourself, you can at least assign it. If you're an agent, if you don't buy it, if you don't fit, it's an opportunity to get a listing. So you got to remember, folks, when you're out there, you're not just door knocking or cold calling somebody to see if it works for you. You're looking for opportunity. Anytime those people say yes, and the number don't work, you just got to know, I have opportunity. Where else can I turn this opportunity to make money? If you're a wholesaler, you're assigning it. If you're an agent, list the property, okay? These are the things you got to be mindful about. But the problem is that if you're still worried about what to say, when to say, how you're looking, you don't want to sound stupid, you don't want to make a mistake. If you're so busy in the what you are saying or doing, you will never hear every word the owner is saying. So you never be able to actually have an opportunity to go, oh, this deal don't work for me, but I can actually still sell it or assign it or list this property, because you won't hear it because you're too busy trying to figure out what to say. That is something I tell you, I can't tell you enough. If you don't know the script verbatim, you will never hear every word the owner is saying out of their mouth.
And the best way that we've seen to get efficient with the script fast is really in role playing, and especially recording those conversations. I mean, I did the one with Ed and Patty a little while ago, and we recorded it so they can go back and listen to it. We love seeing you guys. Jamal's super proactive on trying to get people role playing with him. Leslie, Phil, Ed, so many guys have been doing that. That's awesome. But when you can record that and listen back, it's so powerful, you guys. But that gets you that level of efficiency, makes you more consistent, gives you better learning. So really, we want to encourage you guys to be doing that. Just general business efficiency, man. This can really help you build out your team for on and off market deals, especially door knocking. We talk about it in the modules, but it's often overlooked. If you're out in a neighborhood and you see a dumpster somewhere, you see a plumber, you see a landscaper, you see this, jump out and talk to those guys. See what's going on. Are they looking for more business? What could be helpful? Do they work with investors? What does that look like? You can start fleshing out your team just as you're out working a neighborhood. And if they're looking for more business, see what it is that they want to do. Like a gutter and window company. You see one of those guys, hey, talk to them. Man, if you ever see vacant houses, I'm always looking, would love to do it. Would it be all right if I referred you to some of my clients? Are you guys running any specials soon? If they're going to do like a fall cleaning special or something, know what that is. When you're calling your past sphere, hey, I just met this new gutter guy. If you're thinking about cleaning up, they got this special. Give them a call. Tell them I sent you. Create stronger relationships. Now you got value from your clients where you're not asking them for a deal. You're giving them something. You're helping this other dude. You're creating this really strong network of people who are going to be advocating for you. When you're calling and delivering value and trying to find ways to contribute to people, you're going to reduce your call reluctance. You're going to make more calls. You're going to get more efficiency. And most importantly, people are going to want to reciprocate for you, right? It's the gift. It's coming from contribution in this networking. It's going to add a ton of efficiency. It's going to make your being on the call better because you're coming to deliver value, not take commission, which is going to improve your business.
Remember, guys, the ultimate goal while you're on this group, the ultimate goal is to all of us is to get to a point where we actually own rental property and creating passive income. But in order for a lot of us to actually own rental property, there's two things got to happen. One, you got to be able to know how to find a good deal, and you got to have some money so you can actually take down the deal. And of course, the third thing is you got to have good credit so you can actually refinance it, put it in your name later to keep it for 30 years. But in order for you to have good credit, money, and find good deal, if you don't have the money nor the credit, at least right now, what we want to teach you to do is how to actually create a list, how to go find deals that are anywhere from 70% to 85% in margin. And if it's anywhere in those zone, right, you guys know you guys can assign it or you guys can list it, sell it to your investor. Right now, if a lot of you guys who don't have the money can't buy it yet, the thing you should be doing right now is learning how to create the list, go out there and master your skill, and then go out there and find these deals and sell them to investor. In the process of you selling investor, you work side by side with them. You want to start meeting all the subs, finding the subs so you can start to build your team in the back end. As you are building your team and you're making money, and you're saving your money, cleaning up your credit, you guys, having confidence. How do you know a good deal look like? See what the rental market is also. When you have enough confidence, money, get the team put together, the next time you find a deal that is 70%, that's when you start pull the trigger. You start to buy them and keep them yourself. So when I started, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the credit. I didn't have the experience of the market. I didn't have the experience of the team. That's why I went out there and found deal, and I would sell them to investors and build it all day. And I worked with them for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years before I had enough confidence on what to do, how to rebuild the house, what kind of finish you put in, how much the rental market looked like, you know what I mean? Had enough confidence, had enough good credit. And then eventually I started doing one house at a time. And now I'm at a point where if it's a good deal, I'm pulling the trigger for me. If it's an okay deal, I'm selling it off to other investors. This is the ultimate why you guys in this group, because we want to teach you guys how to eventually own rental property. That's the key.
That's it. And it's designed, as you just said, to like make you money every step of the way. You're really getting paid to go to school. That's what this is about. You're taking your existing skill set that you already have of knowing how to do real estate and layering in a deeper level of skill set, how to find it and evaluate it, create more paychecks for yourself, find better opportunities, and be able to capitalize it for yourself to achieve the end goal. This is so efficient when you look at that. You're the direct source to finding them. You got the best contacts to rehab them. You meet great lender contacts to put the structure together. You're well organized to make it happen, get the takeout financing, all of that. This is hyper efficient to that
But
end.
here's the thing, guys and gal. Here's the reality of it. The first step in this whole journey, owning rental, is you got to know how to create the list to find good deals. Okay, how do we find deal at 70% margin? That's the key. Okay, number two, I hate to say this, you got to know what to say. You got to master your scripts and dialogue.
Yeah.
And number three, you guys, here's the reality: ain't shit gonna happen if you're sitting on a loaded position meditating. You got to go out there and you got to take action.
Yeah.
You got to know how to create the list, know how to understand how to run the number. You got to know your scripts and dialogue, and you got to go out there and take action. That is step one on this long journey owning rental property. And I'm telling you, very few people do this. I see so many guys that flipping houses. None of them are actually keeping them. Very small are keeping them. And if they are keeping it, they don't even know why they're keeping it. And if they are keeping it, they're not keeping it 7%. They keep it because they have to, because they overpaid. And they got to keep it.
There's a fair amount of people, especially right now, the last 6 months, a lot of guys refining into perm because they couldn't sell.
They can't sell. And that's the worst thing with rental property anyway to hold.
Luckily for them, they're in a position where they can get the takeout finance.
Yeah, really, right?
And that's the path that we want you guys to go on. Worst case, doomsday scenario, you just went BK and had a foreclosure. Worst case, 2 years, you can start implementing this. And if you're like, dude, 2 years, that's a long time. It's not. What were you doing 2 years ago? You probably are in the same spot you're in now. Shit, I don't have enough money. I can't do this. Start today. 2 years is going to fly by and you will be killing the game. And it may be a much better time to be buying in 2 years than it is right now. So wrapping up, and then we'll jump into your questions. Vegas, August 29th. We'd love to see you guys.
Let's go, boys and girls. Let's hit the Vegas. Let's go.
We're playing with maybe having a little casual meetup. We're trying to work out everybody's travel schedules and everything. So let us know if you're going. We want to see you. We may put something together to just get everybody together. We'll see about that.
Yeah, it's like 25 or 50 bucks to bet. Like we're gonna be out from like 8 to like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And we might do like a lunch meetup right afterward or something. So you live anywhere close, come through. Let's roll.
Yeah. So be paying attention in the groups. Again, both the free public group and the private group. Look for new stuff. We're going to be making some changes, adding some rules, descriptions, units, more resources for you guys. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the Facebook Lives and some interviews. We're going to be trying to bring in some special guests to add a little more depth and some new voices to the conversation for you guys. Boot camp, I'm going to be following up this week with you guys who have previously sent inquiries in and mapping that out. We're going to have more info coming out about it. You'll start seeing.
If you guys are serious about this game, guys, okay, get on to the boot camp, okay?
And it's only for you guys that have been in and on these calls. We're not letting anybody in that's not familiar. We want people who are already aware of the conversation, who are committed to taking action. This ain't no fucking around in this thing. We want to get in and get some results, make some shit happen for you guys. Keep sharing your wins. Keep sharing your deals. We love that energy that comes from that. When we see like Joe Escobar posting, he found the plumber problem, he did this. That's good shit, man. That makes more people excited. We want more of that. Ben sharing his deal. Ryan, Ramaya, I've seen you posting some stuff. Be looking for some messages for me. We love that. Keep it up, man. And it keeps us excited to want to help you guys. Like, we love seeing you guys succeed. That's what we're doing here. We could be taking the hours a week we put into this and be out making deals for ourselves, but we love seeing you guys winning. Keep sharing that with us. Keep us excited. We'll jump into some questions now, but keep an eye on what you focus on expands. Keep your head right in between the calls and what's going on. What are you looking for? Because you'll find it if you're looking for it. Stephanie, you got some questions you want to pull up for us?
Yeah, some good stuff. Joe, again, wanted to share a couple of wins people shared. Joe said yesterday he did a meeting where he took a listing and made a cash offer. Pretty sure he's picking up the deal. He thinks the ARV is around 305 and he's going to pick it up for 130 and we'll sign it. So I told him we're going to want to hear some more about that deal awesome. And how you did it. All the stuff about how you made that happen.
130 to 305.
Wait, he bought it with 130, right?
Yeah.
How much is it worth? How much is it worth, Joe?
305 is the ARV.
How much work do you need? Yeah.
How much work it cost? How much does it cost to rehab it?
Joe, unmute yourself.
Well, I probably have to help him with that. So. Let me get you, Joe.
Can you hear me
All
now?
right. There you go, Joe.
Hey guys. You know, it's a good question. It's a pretty deep fixer. You know, it's got a couple of things like the wiring's got 4 types of wiring, starting with knob and tube all the way through, you know, kind of monkeyed around. So it's going to need rewired. It's got some plumbing stuff, and then it's got cosmetic. It's siding, roof, and then kitchens and baths and paint. It's an older house, so, you know, it's things like lath and plaster and asbestos and lead base that you're going to have to deal with. So well, I saw some fixer comps were sitting in the 195 range. After repair, sitting in the 305 range, and so, you know, we just had the conversation with what the guy had to have, and I just gave him the 2 pass. I said, you know, on the one side, you know, we can list this, we can get you the most amount of money possible. There's going to be some things you're going to have to do to, you know, prepare it, because we're going to have people coming through, and you got to be ready for inspections and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I said, or you can tell me what date you want to move, when you want to close, and I can get you the money you need, and you can pick the closing date and all of that. And him and his wife both looked at me and they're like, when we sold our last house before we bought this house, we listed with a realtor. After a year, we fired them. Then we had to hire another realtor. It's 3 more months, and they made us paint our house and do all this stuff. And we don't want to do any of that. So as long as we get the money we need, that's what we want. And so it's pretty straightforward. And I'll start putting together a repair budget and stuff as I get closer to know what it really is. But if anything, you know, it looks like there should be buyers out there at that 195 mark. So that's kind of where I plan to go with this.
How big is the house, Joe?
It's like a 1,300 square foot, 3-bed, 1-bath in Cedar Woolley. So it's up north in Skagit.
Yep, and it's a Rambler, right? A ranch. Yeah,
Rambler with a garage, good sized lot, alley access in the back.
1,300 square feet. Let's say it costs you $50 a foot in that area, right? Okay. 65,000. Okay, you do a quick math and tell me if this is a burr or not. Everybody do a quick math. What is a burr? If he was to do a burr on this, what's the purchase price that he got to meet at, guys and gals? Everybody quickly do the math. All right. He said ARV is 305, and rehab is 65,000. Everybody do the math.
It's 148,500. I know it would burr that. I'm just not sure that I want a rental in Cedar Woolley.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Now that's good. That's good that you're clear on that. You see what I mean?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Sure. I think the numbers pencil, and Thach, frankly, the reason why I don't think I'm going to renovate it is when I ran the numbers on basically that same thing. I basically said, you know, 68.5 was my rough number I put for repairs. It looked like I could make, you know, on the worst day, if I had to make some concessions on an assignment, I can probably make 50K. If I put in all the work, which is an increase in my risk, I make 60 or 68K. Maybe I get lucky, I make 70K. I just didn't see the return on the risk there between assigning.
Bravo.
That is fantastic.
Matter of fact, as you were speaking, I was running the calculator, and I was like, if you made 70 grand in a flip, you could get 50 grand. I sign it all day, any day. Done, quickly, done, out of there.
That's it. Next.
All right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's location.
Yeah, I want to say this,
okay?
Different. I want to say this real quick. Guys and gals, listen, Joe, tell them how you found this deal.
You know what the craziest thing is I know the sellers loosely. You know, I mean, I've ran into them over the course of years. I didn't know they were selling, but another one of our mutual contacts referred me to them. So it honestly was, you know, the traditional way that a lot of people find business. But like I said, I just went out with honestly a little more confidence in just saying, hey, we can do one or the other. For a long time, after the recession, I just kind of backed off on things. I've been doing this for a long time. I just kind of backed off on doing investment deals, and just, you know, commissions were easy. And then I just got to the point where I realized I couldn't build what I was trying to build fast enough if I was only working for commission. So
here's the thing I want to say.
I was happy to list the property with the guy. I told him, I'm like, we can go either way. I don't care. But they preferred that way. They're happy. I'm happy. It's
perfect.
And I want to say a couple of things. Number one, you guys, you're not doing the seller this justice when you give them two choice and they pick the choice of, hey, give me 130 as is and be done with it. Okay. Number two, he found this deal through traditional seller lead. Hey, I want to sell my house. But now he has two set of lenses that he can go, oh, this house is beat up, right? Well, tell me your motivation. Oh, well, let me give you two options. Option A, traditional. Option B, as is. Which would you prefer? Give me the B. I want the blue pill. Let's be done with it. Actually, what's crazy is the blue pill making more money. If you were to list this property, Joe, how much would you list this property for?
I would have listed it for 195 and got 3 to 6%, which would suck in light of what we're looking at. I mean, five or 10 grand.
10 grand, and he's about to make 50 on this deal. So let me ask you a question: is 50 grand how you made 50 grand this deal much easier than selling five listings?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty traditional realtor when I got my realtor hat on. So we're, using cleaners and staging properties and taking professional photos, and I'm in all of that. And we're just gonna junk it out. And I've got a crew. Like we're gonna junk it out and maybe do a couple. I don't know. We'll see. We might do a little bit, but we're not gonna go crazy. But
here's the point. The point I want to make is this: is when people don't do this all the time, we have a story that says, God, it's more work to deal with being a realtor / an investor like this. I would rather just list the property. But that's the story. This transaction, in my opinion, it's actually easier than any listing you can take, and you make more money. Would you agree with that?
I agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty decent to me.
I've been down that path just like you. Right? I used to sell 15, 20 homes a month. And my brain was so wired, listing. And then hear a good ass deal, and the seller want to sell it as is. I convinced them to give me a listing because I can say, but I sold another home.
Well, and I mean, you guys can definitely get on me about the scripts if you feel that. But I just told him, I'm like, there's two ways to go. We can talk about highest sale, and I can give you the fee sheet and all that kind of stuff, or I can tell you, I did the math, and I was like, or I can tell you, listen, I will guarantee that you walk away with at least this much money, no fees, whatever. And I said, so, because the guy had told me he had looked at the postcards in the mail that people get, and that frankly we all send. Yeah. And so I just told him, I'm like, well, some of those companies have fees, and that's going to be no different than listing your house. So let's just talk about the money you need. And they were very pleased with the conversation about talking about the money they need, and they had it all lined out. How much for the down payment on the house they're going to buy in North Carolina, how much your credit card debt is, how much their moving truck. I mean, they knew what they needed. So we just gave them what they needed, and we knew our numbers when we walked in. So,
right. And they're a great example to me. You hit on a couple of things. They're a great example to me. Not everybody is price, right? They've been on the real estate roller coaster a few times, had bad experiences. They just want to open the new chapter. Mm-hmm. They're just looking for somebody to fucking unlock the new chapter for them, and you showed up with an easy way to do that. Mm-hmm. That's the seller that we're looking for. You mentioned the script and not being on the script, and I'm not going to get on you here, but maybe later. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to get on you. This is more, the script is designed for a cold prospect situation. Mm-hmm. This is a more referral. Somebody connected you to them. You had context. You had background. You were in a lot of that. So now you're qualifying the appointment. What do you want? When do you want it? What is that? And showing up for the listing presentation. So you did a good job because the script is designed to create the warmth that a referral creates naturally. Mm-hmm. So you're all good there, man. That's great stuff. Well done.
Bravo.
Good job, Joe. Congratulations.
I threw you back on mute, man, but thanks for being willing to jump on and share that. I know I saw Harvey had posted something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Harvey was mentioning how, I'm going to quote him directly so we get his statement correct. He said that mindset and alignment is bringing more level one business his way, which is fantastic. We love when the level one business gets going, and you're so right that mindset and alignment have a way of just sort of making stuff come out of the woodwork. All the seeds you've been planting for a long time, when we're not stepping on it with our with lack of mindset, resilient mindset, and lack of alignment, stuff sprouts. So that's exciting.
He actually did $3 million in sale last month.
Nice.
That's amazing, Harvey.
Right? That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of your stuff in the Jumpstart community, Harvey. I love the post. That's where when I saw his name, I was like, I want to call that out, man. Great.
Yes.
Love to see the alignment, the stuff just coming together for you, ease and flow. I can like read it into your words where you're at, dude. That's fantastic.
And it's so wise of you to attribute the alignment and mindset to the results and how that braids together with whatever work you've been doing, and because that's how we get more of the ease and flow coming our way. So congratulations on that, Harvey. That's exciting. Mike had a question. Can I pay a wholesaler for a listing lead as a broker as a marketing expense? Is there a way to stay above board and do this since they are not licensed?
So as with all things, talk to your broker about what's okay there. I don't know what you have in mind. My understanding is that agents are not supposed to pay referral fees to non-agents, but talk to your broker about that. And the people are in different markets. So what's true in Washington may not be true somewhere else. So I would refer that back to like, talk to somebody in your market about what is there. Then I think somebody asked about the scripts. The scripts are in the notebook and within the portal. They should be both places for you guys to be able to grab and access. What else do we got?
Dimitri was curious if you, for the live calls that you do, do you record them? And if so, what system do you use?
So we don't, if he's talking about dialed calls where we're dialing out, Washington's a two-party consent state. For phone calls we're talking about here, everything is a two-party. Hopefully everywhere is two-party consent for other things. It's two-party consent for recording conversations. So on the outbound calls, it's illegal to record them in Washington. So we don't have a service that records outbound calls or does anything there. We do have on some of our marketing lines on the team in the squad, our inbound calls are on dedicated marketing lines where we do record those for quality assurance. Some of our coaching clients will call in on stuff and we use that stuff. We do truly use it for training purposes to make sure we're getting things accurate, getting things done, and getting people taken care of.
Yep. Good answer. Renee was also sharing the results she's getting. Door knocking and 2 mega open houses resulted in an open escrow today. So congratulations on that, Renee.
Bravo, Renee. You're buying lunch in Vegas.
Yes.
All kinds of good smells coming out of that pot. That's excellent. Got the crock pot cooking up.
Yeah, it's good to see some great stuff happening for you, Renee. That's awesome.
Yes. That's all the questions and comments that I'm seeing in the chat. Oh, here we go. Mark's got a question. A technical question. Mark and Thach, exceptional tree in Seattle is killing my deal. Anybody familiar with this concept at all? How hard is it to remove an exceptional tree?
Oh my goodness. Bring him on the line.
How expensive is it to remove? That's 2 different questions.
Bring him on the line, Steph.
Okay.
What's up, Mark?
All right, hold on, Mark. I'm coming.
How's it going, guys?
There you go. Good.
So, hey, as long as you don't say the word Capitol Hill, you've been in good shape.
So this is up in Crown Hill, and it's an RSL lot. And really, the only way it makes sense is by keeping the existing and building 2 in the back. And we went and had a look at the property yesterday, and I think the tree was 90 inches in diameter in the back corner. So right now, it looks like it's only 1 in the back. So then it doesn't look like the deal pencils. So I've been just kind of trying to see what would be the way we could potentially get this tree removed.
All right, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me recently. Okay, I was working on this deal, and there's a tree in the back. It's not a type of tree that there's many things they call exceptional tree. This one happened to be. It just happened to be. The trunk happened to be bigger than it was minimum. Then they consider that as an exceptional tree. That makes sense.
Okay.
And so basically, you can cut it. The owner got to cut it before you do a survey, before you do anything. Because the owner can cut any tree down. You know what I mean? In that situation. So the owner was going to cut this tree down. His L lot, I was going to buy this property. She was going to go cut the tree down and everything. And then basically, then I was going to buy it. Then you do the survey on it. But We didn't end up buying it because the number didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say something?
So yeah, my understanding is a little bit different. So I'm gonna dig in and do some more research because I got a tree issue on a deal right now. For those of you guys that aren't in the Northwest, you probably aren't familiar with exceptional tree issues, but almost every municipality has some kind of shit that fucks up deals. So this is just an example of that. The way, when you ask how hard is it to remove an exceptional tree based on the deal that I'm working on, it is like act of God hard.
Yeah, he is.
So the city of Seattle just changed their tree guy, and the city council is on a save the tree kick right now. So it's pretty difficult. There are things you can do to work inside of the exceptional tree area. I heard you say something that it's 90 inches in diameter. Mm-hmm. That's not generally so diameter is around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's generally the distance across, or circumference around. Diameter is the distance across. It's generally the distance across. It's usually around 28, 30 inches at chest height.
Okay.
The size that is a trigger for most species, but it does depend on exactly what the species is of the tree to see what that is. But yeah, man, they're a pain in the ass, and the sellers are going to have to wake up, or they're going to have to make that thing go away. And I would have no part of my name anywhere near anything about taking trees down right now.
So yeah, that was kind of what I talked to the seller about, is kind of what Thach said, but I was a little concerned about getting myself in hot water. So that's why I was, didn't want to put my toes in boiling water here.
Yeah, I would. And for our coaching, have the sellers talk to an arborist or somebody about what are the methods for working around that, or what is that. There's a number of different things that you can do around exceptional trees, and it's such a unique scenario. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on it, but we do want to help you guys get paid. To save exceptional trees, the city will let you do different stuff with setbacks, distances, heights, all kinds of shit inside of that. But that's generally as a result of streamlined design review process, which most builders don't want to go through that. So the sellers are most likely going to have to get clarity and take the tree down themselves so that the builder doesn't have to deal with it, if that's the way that they want to go, or they're going to need to push the deal far enough along through streamlined design review to get the activity. Otherwise, it's just a house with one in the back.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think, like I said, we were talking to the seller about taking care of it. I just wanted to make sure that was a valid way to approach it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about hiring the arborist to classify the tree as a threat to the structure. Again, I don't want to turn this into an exceptional tree call. That's a pain in the ass. If it is a hazard tree, there are steps to be able to remove it, but we don't need to spend a call with people across the country diving deep into Seattle tree code stuff.
How do you identify area idea for bird deal? All right. So let me see if you guys remember my 3 criteria on how to make an idea bird fit. Okay. The first one is it has to fit the 70% rule, right? What's the second ingredient in order to make a bird work, guys, if you're going to keep it? Okay. Somebody type it down. If you remember there's 3 ingredients. One, it has to fit the 70%, right? Double in 10 years. Good, Adrian. What's the third? What's the other one? 70%, double in 10 years. Now, some area might take 8 years, some area might take 12 years, but it's just say, right?
Good appreciation.
Okay, good appreciation and comparable rent, right? So the rent got to cover the cost. Okay, so you got to fit 70% rule. Got to be an area where the rent can cover the cost, okay? And then it has to be an area where it can actually appreciate, every 8, 10, 12 year double, okay? Those are the green ingredient, okay? Now, in order to make the 7% work, you got to get creative, okay? You got to get super creative. Like, let's say, like in California, a lot of you guys in California don't have house with basement, right? But you have house with upstairs, an attic. Okay, so if you don't have basement, like for example in Seattle, there's many ways how I can carve extra value. Like I recently bought a house that was 2 bedroom, 1 bath in the main, and it's a fixer. And the basement, you have to go outside to get to the basement, and it was a low ceiling. So when I bought that as a fixer, I only pay a 2-bedroom, 1-bath fixer with an unfinished basement. Does that make sense? So I might have paid $190,000 for it. But in my mind, I said, I can actually raise the house or lower the floor and add 2 more bedroom and 1 bath and put a staircase, go down. Now I really have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. So a $190 for a 2-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bath house fixer. Now I'm way below 70%. Okay. So that was one way how I created my 70% by buying a house that's 2-bedroom, 1 bath with an unfinished basement that is low ceiling. And I actually dropped the floor, put 2 more bedroom, 1 bath. I also did it another way where it was a 1-story and it had an unfinished upstairs. It was one of those attic kind of a bedroom, right? 2-bedroom. And so I had 2-bedroom, 1 bath on the main, and upstairs I made dormers, right? The attic, I made 2 more bedroom and a bath upstairs. So now I have 2-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2 bath upstairs and on the main floor. And that's another way, okay? For some of you who don't have basement, you guys can do the upstairs. Some of you guys who don't have upstairs, you can do garages, right? You can turn garages into a living area. So you got to get super creative on how to get 7% rule. If you walk in and bought a house that is barely need work, it's hard to get the 7% rule. In those situations, sometimes it might be just a fix and flip, be done with it. But if you want to get 7% rule, you got to think outside the box, right? Now, Mark just mentioned a house with a house in the back. I have a house right now in Seattle I just bought recently in Columbus City that I'm going to actually put a small house in the back. And that small house in the back, I realized that since I got the lot for free, I could build a 1,400 square foot house. It cost me $250 a foot to build it. I'll be in it less than 400 grand. In Columbus City, I can rent that for like 3 grand. But I got the lot for free. That's no different than building a townhouse. So that right there will work. You see what I mean? So now I got double rent on this property. So that's an example, guys, on how to get creative on how to find a deal at 70%. Sometimes it's just not an easy cut and dry because, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, fixer upper. You might not be able to meet it. Can you buy 2-bedroom, 1 bath, unfinished basement, unfinished upstairs, detached garage, and you put a living quarter above the garage and create those value? That's how you create it, get the 70% rule, but you still got to be in the area where the rent got to cover the mortgage and in the area where it can appreciate so you can make your money in good terms. Yeah. Okay? Steve, I hope that answered your question.
That's it. Good, positive cash flow, appreciation, and 70% rule. The 3 most important things to get birth.
The 70% rule, it is ARV. What is the future ARV, right? Multiply by 70% minus the rehab is what you should be purchasing the property for, okay? ARV multiplied by 70% minus rehab, that's the max you have to pay. Anything less is even better. Next week or in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna show you a new house I just bought, right? That I just bought, and we're gonna do a deal or no deal. You gotta tell me if it's a deal or no deal. You guys should keep it, I should flip it, all right? And we surprised that. That's another property I just bought recently, okay? Yeah. That'd be deal or no deal.
Yes.
On Graham Street.
Nice.
Yep. Okay.
So to quickly clarify for Ed, so you don't worry about the closing costs in that 70% rough numbers.
Because there's plenty of margin, okay? Plenty of margin in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at time, but let's see what Fernando's asking. On this building, send me a variety of types of properties. I don't need the worst stuff per way. So there's other criteria. Just because the property's in default or they're going through a divorce or it's a probate doesn't mean it's a fixer. There's a whole bunch of other criteria in there. So those are in the modules, Fernando, what that criteria can look like to do it. But you also can start building criteria to your area. There is different zoning in every city. I don't know exactly what city or county you're in, but you need to look at that for your city or county by yourself or the county city that you're working in. And I don't know that I would focus too much on working a whole bunch of different cities or counties. So you got to learn 10 different zoning sets. I would pick an area and get good at that area.
Now, I want to also say to Fernando, everyone listening, but now RD 1.5 is just like Seattle townhouses where you can put, on a 6,000 square foot lot, you can put 4 townhouses that are 1,500 square foot each for the lot size. Now, if you don't have the money to build those, the only purpose of finding those RD 1.5 in LA and you guys in the Seattle market, the L2, L3 zoning, is purely so you can sell it to an investor or builder so you guys can get the commission and you guys can get the list backs. Okay. Now, for me, all right, I look at basically LR3 Seattle in a certain area, you guys, all right, where I get high rent. And with the construction price slowly now not going up anymore, right? I feel that I can actually build these townhouses in certain area where I can actually meet the 70% rule. So with a lot of these townhouses, I'm building them. And if I can keep them after I get done with them and meet the burr, I'm gonna burr these townhouses. So I do it for 2 purposes. When I look up RD 1.5 or Seattle L zoning, I buy it to either fix it, I buy it to build it and sell it, or I buy it to build it and keep it as a burr property. But if you guys can't keep it or build it yourself, just know the only reason why you're doing it, Fernando, everyone out there, you're doing it so you can sell them to builders, so you can get a commission and you get the list back if you're an agent, okay? If you're a wholesaler, you'll assign it, make a little more chunk of money up in the front, okay?
So Fernando, make sure you're checking out the list building module in the membership area to get that the criteria so that you can have your title guy go back and refine that list according to that criteria, so you're gonna have something you're gonna be a little happier with.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to jump. Be mindful of everybody's time. The recording of today's call will be up later on today. Keep asking questions in the Jumpstart group or on the public page. Thanks again for the time today, everybody. The great questions. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys had fun. We will see you in the group, or for everybody in Jumpstart, we'll see you here next week.
And then I'm also, guys, I like what happened yesterday where we dropped something and we did a little quiz test.
Yep.
So look out for it, you guys. We're gonna be dropping in some more fun little quiz tests here and there, and see you guys on your tippy toes in that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good job, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.
That was pretty cool. You know what I mean?